Welcome to IMF Review. Review today by Sven, because Sven saw something that we didn't see.
Yeah, it can be in the newspaper. Huh?
That should be in the newspaper. By the way, Sven is streaming from Amsterdam. The guy down here is streaming from Gypsyland. If you want to give him trouble for that, you know.
It's from Gypsyland. We come there, no problem.
And I'm streaming from Stockholm, Sweden. Sven, you have been watching the film Da 5 Bloods by Spike Lee.
The 5 Bloods by Spike Lee.
Before you tell me what you thought of it, can you shortly take us a bit into the story?
Yeah, the story is about 4 African-American veterans named by Paul, Otis, Eddie, Melvin, who returned to Vietnam. They are Vietnam War veterans. They are searching for the remains of their fallen squad leader and the promise of a buried treasure, gold. Our heroes, joined by Paul's concerned son, battle forces of man, nature, while confronted by the lasting ravages of the immorality of the Vietnam War.
All right.
So it's about a lot of themes in one movie. And that's also the point where it maybe gets slippery, I would say. But before we go to that, my first impression was that I really liked it. It was like a new story in the genre of war movies. It was also telling, it's also an actual story with all the movements of Black Lives Matter going on around the world and the injustice in the States, especially. A movie like this was never been made. The story was never been told. Some facts about the Vietnam War. 30% of the soldiers, 10% of the population was Afro-American, 30% of the soldiers were Afro-American. So they were high populated, and they were also fighting in the front. So they had the most victims. And within this time, Dr. King was assassinated. Marvin Gaye came with the album What's Going On, a political musical album which is being used all over the movie in a really beautiful way, with also a cappella versions of the song What's Going On. And I think this combination, and he was using like a lot of photographs and historical news footage to put in time all these political milestones. And what he also did was using a lot of flashbacks being directed designed like it was recorded in the 70s with the same color and the 4:3 shape of the screen. So this all was like really thought through, really good. But as I said, it has too many themes a bit for me. It has drama, it has adventure, it has a bit of comedy. It's
so too much. Is it too much genres or too much themes? Like, is he telling? Is he trying to tell too much messages at the same time, or is it just too much movies in one movie?
I think the last one, because it has this historical perspective. It has a political perspective. It has a theme of friendship. How is friendship bonding together when you hunt for gold and you found the gold treasure? How do you, what's going on with dividing the gold? And then there's this actual link also with the time we are living now, and he wants to tell something about injustice. So I think maybe he took a lot of themes on his shoulders to tell. because you can work out more or one of the teams if you would skip one of those, you know?
Yeah, make a choice. Yeah.
On the other hand, my first impression it was good. It was heavy. It was like, but my mind was full of questions. I thought, yeah, okay, what was now actually the point? So yeah, it's definitely worth seeing it for other reasons, like the cinematography is great. The
Music.
The music, the political statements, or like the historical theme he's telling. The acting work of Delroy Lindo and Chadwick Boseman, where Delroy Lindo is acting like the vet who has a lot of psychological problems, and he's doing it in a great way. It's not really new for Vietnam War to have psychological damaged vets, but still he's doing it good. And
how was Chadwick Boseman?
Found him really good, but he's playing the role of one of the vets who already died in the war. So he's only being used in the flashbacks a lot.
Okay.
But he has a really important role for this friendship.
Nice. Okay.
They want to do it for him, but like, yeah, there are like, for example, if I can say one more thing about the theme.
No, you can't.
For example, there was this propaganda about why are these Afro-Americans actually fighting a war for a country where they are actually not being judged as 100% human, you know? This propaganda was sent by Vietnam out on the radio at the day after Dr. King was assassinated. And this could be like a story where you could hang on the whole movie on, like this inner battle that every Afro-American soldier should have, probably. But that was not really worked out.
Was the movie too ambitious, that it wanted to do too many things while it should have maybe stayed a bit smaller in its story?
Yeah. On the other hand, I understand he raises the bar really high.
Yeah, but you can also take it too far. That's sometimes.
Yeah.
I like, for example, Spike Lee's BlacKkKlansman. But if I have the feeling that Spike Lee is a guy that wants to tell a lot of stories and has a lot to tell.
Yeah.
So you can also get a bit over ambitious, while you maybe have to keep your story.
Yeah. I think he's.
But I hear from you, of course, because I don't know the movie.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the point. Yeah. You. Maybe he was over enthusiastic. Yeah. So yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
In the end, it's still worth watching it. But if you have something to, if you stay left like me a bit, questioning, sometimes it's good. Sometimes you think it misses the point then or so. And for me, it was a bit less case.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
3 stars out of 5, I would say.
3 stars out of 5. Decent score. Decent score. All right, great. That's your review. Did you see BlacKkKlansman, by the way?
Not yet, but I'm really interested because I'm really. Although I'm not that tremendous enthusiastic, I got enthusiastic by Spike Lee because he's telling stories in a different way, and that's what I really like. So I'm really interested in watching more movies from him. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's it for the Da 5 Bloods review. Sven gives it 3 stars. Did you see it? Let us know in the comments what you thought of it. How many stars do you give it? Do you agree with Sven's analyzing of the movie? Let us know in the comments, and please don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and also subscribe so we can keep growing. Bye bye.